right, just waiting on some people to come in.
Well, while we're waiting, so it's live. I can see the live button. So peace and
Yeah.
blessings, Queen Jamie. Thank you for having me
Oh, thank
today.
you for coming. Thank you for coming.
So while we're waiting for people to come in, uh, I just want to say I'm very excited for your journey with
Thank you.
this new podcast, and these types of platforms are needed. I had a similar one on Blog Talk Radio back, I think, 2014 or 2015, where well, I did voices for our youth, and it
Hmm.
was very interesting story. I had about 15 children that came on during Black History Month. So, giving children a microphone is very interesting because you can find where they're challenged at. So, this type of platform for women is needed. I am one, am one with a big voice now as a shy girl, but I understood how to give my pain a sound and how important it is to give my pain a sound. So, congratulations. I hope I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a great success.
Thank you so much. Because everybody that knows me know this is something I said I would never, ever
Hmm.
do.
Yeah.
Don't never say never. Ain't that what
Don't
they
never
say?
say
Don't
never. Because
never
I
say
said the same.
never.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I'm no. But then when I understood that people were not speaking out, things were not being addressed. I had to, remove that shyness and
Mhm.
just pretty much just, people. Some people say I have a vision. Some people say I have a calling. And to me, those are two different things. Like I know that I'm called to do this. I know that what I've been through, and when you hear my story, you'll understand better
Mhm.
why. I mean, I even understand, especially the last couple years was really, really rough. But I understand now why I'm still here, right?
Right.
Being so, yeah.
That's wonderful. I can't wait to hear. I'm not going to wait too much longer. I think people will come in as we are speaking.
Absolutely.
And I want to
Hmm.
welcome those who are here. And this is the Queen's Quarters, where your voice is your power. Our voices carry strength we don't even realize. So when we open up and share our struggles and our triumphs and even our doubts, we actually offer a lifeline to others who may be walking a similar path. Staying silent might feel safer, but it leaves us alone in our pain. So speaking up creates a ripple effect, one that reminds you that you are not alone, that your challenges are survivable, and that there's a way forward. So you never know who might be listening or how your words might reach them. Your story has the power to inspire hope, to offer direction, and to keep someone from doing something they can't undo. So don't hold back, speak, and let your voice be the light someone else needs. And with that being said, again, I want to welcome you today, Misty. Thank you for coming to the show. I know your story is going to be a powerful testament of resilience, of strength, and hope. And I'm
I,
excited for you to share it. So I'm welcoming you to this show. And I want you to just tell us a little bit about yourself.
okay. Well, what people find surprising, I am 55 years old. So let's. So I want to
Wow,
get
you
that
look good.
clearly out the way. So I'm a seasoned professional, as Beyonce said. But yeah, so I'm 55 years old. I have been community in the community. I am from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I've been in the Grand Rapids community for around about 30 years. Now, did I do something every single year? No, but I tried.
Mhm.
I started with a local grassroots organization, Reawakening African Minds, now the Dr. Amos Wilson Institute. And I started sweeping floors and cleaning up after events and cooking food. Those were my gifts. And so I didn't know anything else. I was ignorant. I was trying to find my identity. I was trying to find how was I this a black woman in this light skin with these colored eyes? And I was
Mhm.
very, very young. I started my research in my early 20s because of the being bullied in school,
Mhm.
which contributed to a lot of depression. And so that was what I did. I bought books at 20 something years old and I was reading. I then, some years later, like around 20, I want to say 14-ish, I created Sakona X Foundation.
Mhm.
And so what that was just community driven. Sakona is Yoruba for I exist for you. You are important. The X is like Malcolm X, the unknown. And I wanted to um, or not wanted to, I went out into the community and I found what the needs were for the community,
Mhm.
coat drives,
Right.
back to school supplies. So creating curriculums and going into the community and and assisting the youth with self love. I started with self love. And so then I went from that to stilettos on the ground. Stilettos on the ground. I was trying to find like-minded women that um, that would join the nation, right?
Mhm.
There's not a lot of, well, I won't say there's not a lot because we do have women that's community driven, but when you talk about building a community, right, there's a lot that goes into community advocacy, and it's something that take I don't take this lightly. Like coming on here and when I go into forums and I'm repeatedly telling my story, these are stories of trauma. This is not
Mhm.
something that it makes me feel good to relive, uh, but through my healing journeys, and I understood if this is something that I was going to do, I knew that there was going to be a lot of shadow work. Like one thing that I love about you, Queen Jamie, is that we talk through email because I don't have Messenger. And so
Right.
I was like, yeah, I'm fasting. I'm doing the things that I need to do to make sure right now in this moment that my energy is pure because to me and speaking as a mental health spokeswoman and advocate, people are out here struggling. People are out here hurting. And so I, as a responsible leader, right? I've been in leadership roles, but I will be the first to say I was not always the best leader because I didn't know nothing about leadership. So I said, if this is something that you're going to do, you're gonna perfect it the best you can. Now, granted, you live and learn and you make mistakes, and but as I grew into community advocacy, it was like I mean, the work we put in, and even you were saying, yep, we're doing our spiritual work, we're doing our shadow work. I fasted a whole week 2 weeks ago just for this
Mhm.
platform where I only
Awesome.
drank. And then this past week, I was getting a little weak, so I added some nutrition so that I
Mhm.
can be strong today. There was a spiritual bath today. There was a
Mhm.
bike ride today. There was sage in my home today. There
Mhm.
was calling on the ancestors today, pouring libations.
Right.
What else did I do? I did a whole lot of making sure that when I hit this mic that that I can bring some good energy. And my goal today here, and I believe it, that if whether someone is on here now or whether someone comes later and listen to the podcast, we're going to change some minds about this suicidal ideation. My battle for over four, I think I was 13 when I started having these suicidal thoughts. That's as far as back as I can remember. Um,
Awesome.
so I've been out here quite a while. Did Blog Talk Radio. started as a mental health spokeswoman in 2017, and now currently I am leading and directing a literacy and education program local to my community. And so, yeah, so I'm out here.
All right, that sounds amazing. And it's very important to make sure your mind and body and soul is ready before you present yourself. You know,
Absolutely.
so me, my thing
Absolutely.
is I make sure I set aside some time for myself, and I'm a cleaner. It's like my
Yeah,
area needs to be
has
cleaned.
to be
And that
clean.
is so, because if I'm in clutter, then my mental is cluttered. So I had to
Yes,
make sure my space is clean so I can present my best self to you all. So,
yes.
all right. So you say you began this at, you said 13. When did
Far
you
back
start?
is, yeah, I think that's seventh grade, right? So far back as 13 years old, I began to have suicidal thoughts. Um, I didn't really know why. I suffered a lot with depression. I know now through my studies that it was trauma. It was, or it is, it's not even was, it is the adverse childhood experiences, right? So a lot of unresolved trauma, a lot of rape, a lot of abuse, right? So when I
Mhm.
look back on it, I understand how I've been impacted so negatively.
Right.
Um, so yeah, it was about that age.
All right, I'm gonna take 2 moments to welcome in everyone that has joined our live. Welcome in, Kev. Thank you for joining in. So Chalk 18, not sure that he said congratulations on your first live. Says I'm proud of Misty finding her voice and speaking out. I'm not sure if you know who that is. Um, Hi, is it Leela Johnson? Hi, mom. There's my mom's in here, Trafina
Aw.
Barnes. Uh, let's see, Monique. She is my moderator. How are you doing? Thank you so much for modding for me. Let's see. Hey, Angie, welcome in. Thanks for coming in. Terry, thank you. You guys are always supporting. Thank you so much. And we'll go ahead and continue. I know you had mentioned to me about this letter that you had wrote, a video you done in 2022. Can you walk us through that moment and how you found your strength to keep going after that?
Yes, I will. But if you don't mind, I wrote a poem back, I
Oh,
think it
yes.
was 2022, and then I'll go into that because this will give you in a nutshell.
Okay.
But then I'll go into more detail. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm very transparent about
Mhm.
this. But it's called Masterpiece, Peace, by Misty Chanel. And it goes, through the midst of all my storms, life experiences, I discovered that facing my mirror with honest communication and expression will free my soul. I spent what seems like a lifetime withholding my deepest, darkest secrets. I might get emotional, y'all.
That's okay.
Plagued by plagued by over 40 years of suicidal ideation, compromising my reality to spare and not burden others. A butterfly trapped in the eye of a tornado, no escape, present with my fears, billions of tears and uncertainties.
Mm.
That's in my spirit, my DNA. Oh, its power activate. Surrendering was the exit door to releasing the war inside my brain. Surrender, the gateway to elevation, transformation, and peace. Having the courage to reveal my organic self is like dope lyrics over a tight beat. Brown Sugar, babe. Y'all remember that movie?
Mhm.
Uh, I am your reflection, but we are not the same. Inhale, exhale. You feel me? The divinity in me produced a renewed energy, generating prettier eyes and a fresher pair of wings, healthy enough to carry her like a balloon in the sky, unreachable.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, so I wrote that I think in
Mm-hmm.
2023. And I wrote it so fast. It was
Mm-hmm.
like it didn't take long to think about that.
That's
But
amazing. Powerful.
burden, burden, compromising my reality to not be a burden to others.
Hmm.
And I know a lot of us is sitting in that.
Right.
I know we are.
Right. I
I know
agree.
we are. So back in it really goes further back, Jamie, than that. In 20, I think 2017, right? Because even though I had the thoughts, I didn't have um I never made a plan to take my life. It was just I would lay on the couch for days
Mm-hmm.
sometimes and think about, well, I could take some pills or because I'm not, I'm a punk, I wasn't
No,
trying to use
that,
no gun.
yeah, I can imagine.
I
I could
wasn't
only
trying to
imagine.
use. I wasn't trying to use no gun, so it was like, what's the softest blow, right?
Right.
Uh, so it would have been medication for me. And I remember in 2017, I called my sister at 6 a.m. I said someone has to come. It was the first time. I think in 2017 I was around about 40, maybe 6 or 46, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so all this time, right, um, I suffered in silence, and it was that time I called my sister at 6 a.m. and I said, someone has to come and get me because I'm very, very scared that I'm going to take my life.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister came. She took me to, I had just went through a divorce. I had no insurance. So I had to go to the local mental health institution that don't give a damn about it. Excuse my
Mm-hmm.
language, but that's just what I found out. They sent me home. They asked me if I can come back in a week, and I'm like, wow, okay. So I was courageous enough and brave enough, and I go in
Mm-hmm.
here and I sit with an access counselor for 2 hours, and now you're gonna send me home for a whole week?
Mm-hmm.
They said, "Can you make it?" I'm like, "Well, we gonna try. We gonna try it. We gonna try it."
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So I made it. I made it the week. It was rough. I go back and in that week they had me sitting there for 40 minutes. It's just no respect when you don't have insurance, when you're in one of these little community clinics for low
Mhm.
poverty people. I'm just gonna call it what it is.
That's what it
Uh,
is.
when I she finally did come 40 minutes late, the doctor, she immediately put out a prescription pad. There was no, because I'm like, oh, finally I made it till Monday. Now can I talk to someone? And
Um,
it was a prescription pad that she put out. And the access counselor said, Misty don't want to be on medication. And the psychiatrist like, she's writing. Just
mm-hmm.
try it. Just try it. There was no concern for me writing it. Just try it. She gave me these prescriptions. You could fill them for $1 because you didn't have insurance. You could fill them for $1, and that was my visit. And I'm like, what?
Wow. Wow.
This. And I said when I got strong enough, this is what I'm letting. I want you all to know. This is what's available to us, right? All
Mm-hmm.
right. I made it through. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Made it
Wow.
through. Good for me. I would then be faced with the same exact situation in 2022, and um, I showed up to a different institution. Um, I had insurance this time, y'all. I had good insurance this time. And I go to a different institution because I knew the last one was not gonna help, and they sent me home and said, "Can you come back tomorrow?"
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
suicidal. I'm scared to
Right.
death. And can you come back tomorrow? And I was like, you know what? No, I'll never come back. I was very debilitated. I was paralyzed. When I tell you, I prayed for God to take me for 2 months every night for
Mm.
2 months.
Mm-mm-mm.
I had I was planning a wedding, right? Because we go through trauma, and this is what triggers like these. For me, pain is the catalyst for when people hurt me, and so that's kind of been like what leads me to those thoughts.
Mhm.
And I was 1 minute I was planning a wedding, and the next minute I was moving out my home with COVID and abandoned by a man that I thought was my best friend. And I didn't really realize uh, what happened to me. And I was working with my therapist, and that type of emotional and psychological abuse that I was not aware of, it spiraled me. And when I
Mhm.
tell y'all, it I had never been able to I had never not been able to get up for that length of time, right?
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I go to the place. They sent me home. Talking to my therapist. My therapist finally said, Misty, there's no more. I can't help you. I wasn't getting better. And when she told me that, I was afraid. I was really afraid because I said, I don't trust these people.
At all.
I
Mhm.
only trust you. I don't trust these people. I'm not going into these institutions. She said, and she had finally said, Missy, I cannot assist you. You need a higher level of care. And I'm like, so these are my options to
Mhm.
go into these institutions. I said, okay. So I started researching different types of therapy. I landed on EMDR therapy, uh, which I had researched in the past. And so I was going to two therapists twice a week. I was very diligent on saving my life because I understood that all I had was me at that time. I had friends in the beginning that come. I had a best friend. Shout out to Judy. I know she's watching. Uh,
Mhm.
will be watching, who stayed on the phone with me that week every day for 16 hours. That's the type of support that I
Mhm.
had. I had another sister. Shout out to Sonya. And if it wasn't for that support system, I can't really say if I would be here. I honestly cannot tell you because it got so bad that even after going through therapy and reading on what happened to me in these abusive cycles in my engagement and the guy that I was with, it was sending me, I was steady spiraling. And so July of 2022, I was like, and my birthday was the 12th. I I love my birthday,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to get up, get dressed, get cute, and pretending like I'm okay, but I was not okay. And so
Mhm.
probably maybe a week after my 53rd birthday, I pulled out
Mhm.
my phone and I made a goodbye video to my family and friends. It had got that bad for me. I apologized. I said I'm losing my battle, and I don't think I'm gonna make it.
Mhm.
But guess what? She's
You're
still
here.
here.
You're here.
She's still here.
Yeah, that was
Yes,
you. Yeah, you pretty
yes.
much answered my next question was what role like your what role did your support system uh, help play in your healing process? And you said you had great friends, but was there like you said family members? You did have family members to
Yeah,
help?
my aunt, it was my mother's birthday, which was so unfortunate because um I didn't plan it to be that I was gonna fall apart right on my mom's birthday. But it just happened to be that, and I didn't call my mom, I called my aunt. And
Mm-hmm.
when I called my aunt and I said, I'm very scared, and she said, of what? I said, of myself. So she came. She came right away. And she sat with me for 3 hours. She said, "You have to tell your mom. You have to tell," because I had been holding this all my life, right? I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
sharing this. I was always dressed nice. My hair was done. I was the cute
Mm-hmm.
girl. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And so nobody would have ever thought that I would suffer in that way. So I had my aunt, my mom was very vocal in encouraging me through that time as well.
Good.
Yeah,
And that's the thing is people forget like some of the greatest people or the funny people that we know, like Robin Williams, happiest person, you never would have
Yeah.
thought that he would have took his life. It's like, listen, when people are talking to you and they have these concerns and they're expressing to you, I don't know, I just don't know. I need you. I need you.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, you have to
Mm-hmm.
listen. And I am like really shocked. I mean, insurance or no insurance, I would think someone at least would have a heart, to not send you away. I'm like, I'm having this problem today. I may not be here tomorrow.
I might not be here tomorrow. And that was one of the main questions they asked me. Do you think you could make it? I'm like, hell, how do I supposed to know? I've never gotten to the edge yet. But
Right.
what is the edge like? I don't
Mhm.
how do
It's
I
like,
supposed to know what the edge is like, right?
right.
So a, a great support system, a great that and when I say a great shout out to my therapist T Brown. When I say that woman, she, when I say she over exceeded my expectations, she's not the therapist that's going to kick you out in an hour.
Mhm.
She see a need. She said, you can lay on this couch. I don't have any more patience. She, 2 hours, three
Right.
hours. She
Mhm.
worked with me sometime only charging the hour. And I'm just so grateful uh, that um, that I had her and that I had a support system. But
Mhm.
everybody doesn't have a support system. And Queen Jamie, to what you were saying, you know, uh, I lost my train of thought.
You're fine.
Sorry. It'll come back. It'll come back to me. Oh, if someone tells you they're suicidal, absolutely, because I've heard people say, no, they're not, no, they're not, no, they're not, no,
Mhm.
they're not, no, they're not, no,
Mhm.
they're not. That's not something you want to play with, right?
Mhm.
Suicide is a very, very sensitive topic. We're not having the conversations. We're not having the conversations with these children.
Right.
Um, so when you demoralize person with suicidal ideation, the rate is going to go up,
Mhm.
right? When you
Right.
have platforms like this where
Uh-huh.
people can share their stories of resilience and overcoming, it provides hope, and the suicide rate goes down. So we can't think that I just lost my best friend, and I wasn't suicidal, but some of her family members were.
Mhm.
I couldn't take
Right.
that lightly. I was I was
Right.
I was getting ready to go to North Carolina, and just to make sure I was there. But I didn't need to go, but I was willing to drop my life to go
Mhm.
assist my best friend who was challenged
Right.
with that and grief, financial challenges, underlining mental health issues. I'm just trying to think of some causes. Bullying, right? These children
Mhm.
is 10 to 24 years old in the Black community alone, right?
Yes.
Uh, we have a 36.6 increase in our youth, and nobody's saying anything. Are we not reading? Are we not? Do we just not
Mm-mm-mm.
know? And then what do we do about this? Now I'm here. Now everybody that's gonna come on here now knows that the Black community is challenged. Our youth, 10 to 24 years old, are taking their lives at that
Right.
young age. What is happening in the homes? Why aren't we addressing this as a community? And this is where the bullhorn sounds for me,
Right.
because I cannot know this. Like, all I did was study. And when I say uh, we have to be diligent in saving ourselves, we have to save ourselves, y'all. These institutions is not going to save you, right? When you
Mhm.
talk about uh, the Black community, we live, we're challenged with healthcare disparities, stigma, uh, fear, um, the belief that having mental health illnesses is a weakness. No, not addressing it is a weakness,
That's
right?
right.
stand for yourself, right? Believe that you have the power, right? And that goes back to where we come from, what DNA we have in us. Y'all see Brother Malcolm back here, like that's my number one ancestor back there, and
Mm-hmm.
so many other ancestors. Like we come from a lineage of strong men and women, right?
Right.
And so, but if you don't know who you are out here, you will never know the power that you represent. Somebody said workplace.
Yep.
Brooke, oh,
Yep.
my number one mentor. Oh, Brooke, I love you. We get ready to have dinner after this. She taking me to eat after this.
Wonderful.
Workplace bullying.
Right.
Yes, I'm dealing with that. I have a case out now. I'm just in a space in life where you're not going to abuse me, because the abuse causes the suicidal ideations, right? For
Right.
myself, anyway. Being abused and treated poorly. So that's where you have to implement boundaries and knowing how to have healthy boundaries and standards. We're not that tough. That
Yep. And real quick, also before we keep going, she was talking about workplace bullying, and you was saying about the ages 10 to 24 and being bullied. And my thing is sometimes maybe their parents are could be a bully. You know, not to blame the parents at most of the time, but what I've witnessed on the internet, the cyberbullying, the bullying at
oh
work, these are grown people. So how are we supposed to reach out to our 10 to 24-year-olds when they're doing the same thing? It's
I'm
like the
so
book
glad you brought that
said,
up.
we
That's
have to stop. We have to
that's
do
a
better.
that's a great question. And
Mhm,
you know, it's the adults for like
mhm,
the adults to monetize the page. You know, I look at some of this stuff. I look at the internet bullying other
mhm.
adults. Like, do you understand that's a mental health issue if you out here
Mhm.
bullying people?
Right. I'm like, we gotta
Uh,
get it together.
it's the whole. I hate the whole social media. I come on social
Mhm.
media because that's where everybody at. So if I'm gonna
Right.
sound the bullhorn, I have to come on social media. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
but I wish that I wish and I encourage us, and this is why I tell my story, to please address your mental health issues. I know that, you know, we lack education, we lack treat. What am I trying to say? Treatment facilities that has the culture of competency to even treat us. The one thing that I when I was seeking out a therapist, the first thing I want to know when I sit on your couch, what can you tell me about Black people problems? And you will
Yeah,
be surprised that these therapists, because you have to be a social worker to be a therapist, and then you have to get licensed, and you will be surprised how many uh, Caucasian therapists looked at me like I was crazy. I said, "Okay, this is the books you get. You get Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Joyce."
mhm.
I'm naming books like if you want to expand your practice, then these are the you have to study us to know how to help us.
That's right.
And I finally found a therapist. I honestly didn't know what race my therapist was initially. I thought she was more on the native side. I just found out after 3 years that she is a Caucasian woman. And when I tell you she knew more about she probably knew just as much about intergenerational traumas and races. That's all we talk, because racism, okay, that is Black people's number one mental health challenge.
Mhm.
Racism is a huge mental health challenge for us. It's in
I agree.
everything, in our foods, in our and our TV, it's on social media, it's everywhere. So I would say, when you are seeking there, I think everybody needs a therapist. If you Black in this country, you
I agree.
definitely need a therapist. You just need to find the right therapist that is has a foundation in cultural competence, right? And
Yes.
these are the questions that we should ask when we seek out therapy. Go to therapy. Let's heal as a community. Let's get out here and raise awareness. I'm calling my sisters, right? So people say, Sister Misty, why do you blame Black women? I blame us for the condition of our communities because we have the ability, we have the no, we have the resources, we have the ability, and we have the blueprint, right? We have
Right.
sisters like Harriet Tubman and Mary McLeod and the whole women's colored movement. If you've never researched the sisters, please research those sisters because they left blueprints, right? It's up to us to pick up the torches, but make sure you address your mental health first, right?
That's
We
right.
can't be productive out here when we're sick. So when I wasn't feeling good and when I went through this last bout of suicidal ideation, all mics went down, right? How
Hmm.
I there I was not able to assist the community. Now, how many children, my community children, I had to let them go. How many young sisters that they were calling me and I'm like, I'm sorry. Let me find you some resources because I cannot help you. But Sister Misty can't save the world, right?
Yep.
In my community, right, the Grand Rapids community, right now, we don't have a whole lot of stuff going on that's geared towards Black mental health.
Hmm.
And as my mentor says, we need to teach mental health in school.
That's right. I definitely agree. So, what can you give us like some signs that we should be looking out for as far as
Absolutely.
someone that who might be going through the same thing where we need to be reaching out, helping versus saying, "Oh, they okay. They're okay."
Absolutely. Depression,
Mhm.
isolation, people, if they tell you, obviously don't take it lightly. People that research it, people that I'm trying to think, um people that may have had a tragedy. Grief is when I lost my granny, I was like, okay, well, I could check out now. Like that
Mhm.
was just too that was too unbearable.
Yeah.
um Depression, anybody, any life altering uh um uh changes, they are at risk for suicide. Hopelessness, if someone is feeling hopelessness, obviously,
Mhm.
if someone is being bullied, if someone is isolated. There I was isolated for a very long time, and to say, in the beginning I had a lot of support, but that
Mhm.
support, it started to go away, and I really honestly don't think that even my family understood how much help I needed. I
Yes.
don't think they knew because there's no way that I should have been left the
Right.
way I was left. And it's just what it is. And I'm not blaming nobody, right? Because a
Mhm.
lot of times, a lot of times people they don't know how to help. So this is
Mhm.
why I'm raising my voice. Google it. You got the phones in your hand. You got a whole machine in your hand. Google how to help someone if they're in distress, right? How to be supportive. I was by
Mhm.
myself for a long time, other than my sister Sonya. Shout out to Sonya, who stayed on the phone with me after my first best friend. She was going through some similar challenges. Um, and we just clung on to each other. And so uh, eventually, here I am. I'm grateful. So, this podcast was very important to me. It allows an outlet, right? Like you said, our voice is our power. And for me, this is just another outlet. I have not taken many mics since 2022,
Mhm.
but I'm just getting back out here. There's for me, leading by example is very important, and a lot of times I don't know how to do that, and so I have to fall back. But I will perfect it, right? I will perfect it. I know that I'm needed out here in the mental
Mhm.
health world, and I hope that people can see me, see my flaws, see where I've come from, see how I've grown, and know that no matter what you may be feeling, no matter how hopeless it is, no matter how dark it seems, if you just hold on, if you just drop the stigma, if you just reach out for
Mhm.
help. And I'm gonna tell you right now, anybody at the sound of my voice, anybody that will come on later. I would never leave you. If you reached out to me and told me you were suicidal, I would never leave you. I will find resources. I work with Sister Brooke and Sister Mackenzie, two mentors. We out here doing some things in the community, and I'm so grateful to have those sisters, some genuine sisters that know what to do.
Mhm.
I'm being led
Mhm.
by my mentor Brooke. She the business out here, you know. So I encourage us to get involved in your communities. If you don't know what to do, reach out. We'll be glad to sit with you. We'll be glad to lead you. We'll be glad to provide some interventions. Uh,
Mhm.
some campaigns, raising awareness campaigns. I'm asking us, Black women, please take care of your mental health. Please help me with these kids out here. This is
Mhm.
how near and dear this is to my heart. And every time I have to hear that another child is taking his life, I'm like, well, where
Mhm.
was the mother? Well, why? Where's the
Good.
signs? Like, why don't we know? Because we too busy in our phones that we
That's
can't
right.
even see the signs in our children. That I grew up all my life contemplating, wanting to take my life. Why did
Mhm.
nobody see that? Because
Wow.
they just didn't know. But we got to
Mhm.
know. It's time to
Right.
know, right? It's time to know and it's time to do. I'm not going to come on that. I don't care nothing about this shit. This Facebook, sorry.
Mhm.
I don't care nothing about social media, this. I got stilettos on the ground. I am out here in the trenches and it's exhausting, but I won't
Mhm.
stop. So I'm going to take a break. I need some water.
That's okay. So thankful for you, and thankful for your voice. Thankful for Brooke. you know,
Yeah, shout out to
you know,
Brooke.
shout
Shout
out
out to
to
my
Brooke.
mentor.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And you hit it right there. It was like, where was the parents? Where are you not listening? Because
Hmm.
we do have these phones. We have these phones in our hand more than anything else. We
More
go
than
out with our
anything.
family, phones in our hand, watching TV, phones in our hands. We can't put the phone down. How many times have
Hmm.
you been watching a show and had to keep rewinding it because you couldn't
Because you're
stop
looking at your
scrolling?
phone.
I'm guilty.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
guilty. So
We all
yes.
guilty, sis. We all
Mm-mm-mm.
guilty of it. They said in the 50s, I mean, they said, was it the 50s? They said in the 50s, the Project Best application, they said they was going to make
Mm.
devices that was going to dumb down the youth.
And that's a
And
distraction.
now,
Yep.
and now you got computers in the school system. They don't even know how to probably write. You know, they
Yep.
cursive is gone. I mean, because this is what I was just touring the school the other day. I'm walking
Mm-hmm.
past the class like these is itty bitty kids, like, oh my God, they learning with computers.
Uh-huh.
So this we need Saturday schools in our communities. These are all things that I've attempted to do and have, and it's just one person, right? One person with a drive, one person with the know-how, the knowledge, the
Mm-hmm.
courage, the resources to do it. We need all of us.
It takes a village. It
We need
takes a
all of
village.
us out here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's be proactive and not reactive. That when a child takes his life and you say, "Oh my God, that's just so horrible." Well,
Mm-hmm.
we can prevent this. We can
Right.
do something. It takes parents. It takes or local, or it takes everybody. Mental health institutions. We really have to zone in on Black mental health, and this doesn't take away from any other race or group who deals with this. I'm not that insensitive. I'm talking about my community. I'm talking about my people. I have kids out here.
That's
So we
right.
have to zone in on Black mental health services. We know we have mental health problems. You got to know. I don't say you got to know, but research it. Look it up. I looked in Google. Why do people want to kill themselves in 2017? Why did I have to look it up in Google?
Mm-hmm.
But I did.
Yeah.
So look this stuff up. It's right there for you, and be proactive in saving your life. And I want to add to this, and people lose me on this part, and I don't want to be insensitive to people's belief systems, but church is not a mental health institution.
Mm-hmm.
Your pastor can't diagnose you. Your pastor, I don't want to say we're all pastors. No, I'm just saying my experience in the church. Uh, your religious beliefs and spiritual practice are resources. It's a tool in your arsenal to help you overcome. But don't think that because you have these challenges, you need professional mental health professionals to help you overcome uh, these challenges.
I agree. I agree. So for we spoke on the signs. What advice would you give someone who's struggling in silence and feels like they can't go on?
I would say find someone you could trust. I know that trust is a big issue in the Black community. You go tell your business and somebody get mad at you, and now it's all over social media, or Keisha
Hmm.
or Uncle Bobby know, and that is a problem.
Right. That's right.
That is a problem. Trust, but I would say there's got to be some. Reach out to me. Here you go. Here go your girl right here.
That's right. And we'll
That's the
definitely have her information and on a community board
That's the
soon.
solution. Reach out to me. I help
That's
so many
right.
people. My phone does not even ring because
Hmm.
my phone has not ring in years because I'm not going to sit up on the phone and just talk bad about people. You got to find somebody
No,
else to do that.
I know that's right.
So I would say find someone that you could trust. If your parents don't know, I would say they will be uh, uh, the first point of contact. Parents, if you have children, do your research. So if your child ever comes to you, that you are prepared to assist them.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right. So, in your journey, what small changes or daily habits helped you stay focused on this journey of recovery?
A couple of things. One is boot camp.
Hmm.
Um, Going to sweat for 30 minutes and running around like you're crazy for 30
Yeah.
minutes. It's definitely been a lifesaver for me. Staying off social media, those are triggers. They can be triggers. Social media is just not healthy
It's not.
for us. Um, Another thing is, as I continue to study on racism, which I've always studied, uh, for me, I understand that I was supposed to take my life
Hmm.
because of systemic and institutionalized racism. These
Yeah.
are the systems that's out here, unfortunately, that we
Hmm.
come up in the school system, um, just all across the board, right? The foods, we just everything is. When it comes to Black folks, we dealing with racism, mass incarceration. Those brothers and sisters come out there,
Hmm.
the thing that keeps me is knowing who I am as a Black woman. And I only know that because I study the ancestors.
Hmm.
And racism will not, if you didn't do it this far, white supremacy lost
Right.
with me.
Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. This is amazing. Amazing. All right. So, we're about to come up on the end. So, is there
Okay.
anyone in the chat that has any questions or anything for Misty?
Mm, mm. Mo Better. Mo Better said the church causes mental health.
Hmm.
That's Mo. You know what? I'm gonna tell you. I was a nurse for the church. I tied to the church. I stopped smoking weed to go to church. I'm just real. I did
Hmm.
everything to be the good church girl back in the day. Cause I don't play, right? I'm not gonna be the hypocritical. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
All right.
I gave my money away that I did have. Uh, and they that's I don't. I just want to be careful with what I say because I want
Uh,
to say, but Mo, you so right. The church causes mental health. Religion teaches us. I'll say this: religion teaches us what to think, and
hmm.
African spirituality teaches us how to free think.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not a sinner. And I'm not unworthy of God's love. And that's what I
Hmm.
was taught in the church. I'm
Mhm.
automatic. So we're automatically in sin, and we're not worthy of this in all the songs. I'm so
Mhm.
unworthy, Lord. Up, not over here. But that is, to me, religion is also institutionalized, systemic. There's, yeah, but I'm just gonna stop there because people be ready to shoot me
Ooh,
and just hate me.
that's a whole nother live.
That's a whole
We
girl.
go we
I know.
will discuss this. We'll be here all night.
Yes, we will. So happy that you didn't take your life. Your voice is needed.
Yes.
Chaco, hey,
Yes.
I appreciate that.
That's right. So, nobody have any questions? Misty, is there any final thoughts or anything that you have? Anything we didn't cover that you would like to share?
I would just say, in closing, to we all need therapy, y'all.
Mhm.
Let's just drop the stigma, right? We black in this country. We are. If you can tell me as a black man, because right, black men, the stigma is they really don't think they need help. But if you can tell me you can watch a cop kneel down on George Floyd's neck, we ain't gonna talk about Eric
Mm,
Gardner,
mm, mm,
Sandra
mm.
Bland, and the rest of them. Okay,
All
but if
right.
you could tell me you can watch a cop kneel on the neck of your brother and that not impact you in some kind of negative way, I know it has. So we have to start. So I'm gonna start Black Men on the Couches campaign at some point, encouraging black men to the couches because we need
Mm-hmm.
to. We our brothers, our poor brothers. I love black men. Black men been getting so
Yes,
attacked lately after this whole
they
election, but
do.
I'm not even gonna get into. I don't even want to talk about the
They do.
election. But
Mm.
um, I want you to reach out to me. I want to help you in your community. If you are brave enough, if you make the time, right? We spend a lot of monitor how much time you spend on social media. Some of y'all could have a couple degrees by now
All
if
right.
you really want to be honest. Um, but just reach out to me. I'm listen. I got you. I would never let my brothers and sisters fall by the wayside, man.
All right. Dark and Lovely says, "Hello, everyone. I'm dealing with depression and want to talk with the therapist. Is it wrong that I want to speak to someone who can identify with me as a Black woman? I feel like I would be understood." I think you covered that. And
That's yeah, we did cover that, and that is
yeah.
part of why a lot of us, men and women, we don't seek the help out of fear of not being understood, and rightfully so, because I just told you the ones that I've sought out, they couldn't tell me. But that doesn't mean that they aren't out there. It's just you're gonna have to do a lot of footwork. Um, you're gonna have to do a lot of footwork and ask a lot of questions. Just don't just be going to sit on nobody's couch. Now I'm gonna say some therapy is better than no therapy. You can get a therapist while you wait to seek or find one that's gonna work for you because it's really like what the therapy that can help me may not work for you, so it's like you're gonna have to find the one that works for you. But if you reach out to me, sister, if you trust me enough, who is that, Lisa, whoever the last person was, you could get
Dark
my
and Lovely.
email from Queen Jamie. I don't have inbox messenger. I will be glad to talk with you. I believe I can help you. Brooke is a number one counselor in Grand Rapids, Michigan. She has her own practice. I'm sure she would do telehealth visits. I'm going to meet with her after this. So she's a sister. And when I tell you, I sit with this sister and I work with this sister practically on a daily basis for the last 3 weeks. When I tell you, I'll be like, bruh. She be like, so I'm learning from the best. So I'm gonna be out cold too eventually. But if the sister would like to reach out to me, um, I could put her in touch with a therapist here locally.
Okay, definitely. So, Dark and Lovely, just send me a message on Messenger if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, or I can definitely put in my community board my email address if you want to email me, or Misty will have the information put up for you as
Yeah,
soon as possible. As soon as
absolutely. And confidential. We don't play that.
no. So we got a great job, Queen. You spoke well. It was very informative. I appreciate you and our wonderful host. That's from Shug. Thank you so much. We got great live,
Making
Misty.
me cry. The best compliment
Um,
comes from another black woman. Thanks. I love you, Brooke. We about to eat. I
yep,
love
we're
that
about to
book.
end this live. We are, and I'm not sure if you've seen that Chalk 1-8. They said it's his name Eddie. I'm not sure if you still.
What did he? What was his? What was his comment?
He says, "I'm proud of you, Misty. You did a wonderful. Hold on, let me highlight it. You did a wonderful job on this live, and you're doing a wonderful job in the community." Eddie,
Eddie Wayne. Oh, that's my brother.
there you
That's my
go.
elementary school brother. We go
Wonderful.
way back to elementary school. Thank you for joining it. But
Yes. Good morning, gorgeous. This is me. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. Definitely catch the replay. Um, so with that being said, I know you got to go eat, and I know I didn't want to take this over an hour. We're getting right up to that hour mark, and I want to say thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. Your courage, your honesty has been nothing short of inspiring. I know everyone listening has taken away something meaningful from this conversation. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for this important topic. Thank you for your support. And remember, you're not alone. There's always someone out there who wants to help. As you see right here, we have Misty. Don't be afraid to reach out so that we can get you the assistance that you need. Let's keep the conversation going. Keep supporting one another. Keep pushing forward. And with that being said, I'll say until next time, stay bold, stay beautiful, and never let your voice be silent. And that's it. Thank you all.
thank you,
Goodbye.
Queen Jamie. Mwah, mwah.
Thank you.
I don't know how to turn it off.
That's okay. I got you.
All right. Love y'all.